Welcome back to Making Sense of Real Estate. Bill Jones with Remax Excellent Results Realty. We got a very special guest today, the owner, operator of the one and only Rustic Flair here in Tiffin, Ohio. Jen Burns is joining us. Welcome.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Doing good. Glad you could join us here. So this week we're talking about how do I increase the value of my home. We went over several of the topics here, and I'll get your take on these. I'm definitely not any kind of interior designer by any stretch of the imagination, and you're not necessarily an interior designer. But you've got your everything you guys have going on there is amazing. I really like how you guys do the different setups. We've had to use it for closing gifts and things like that. So you've got a lot of great insight. So we'll come at it like this here. I went over these topics here. We'll take your take on it. So increasing the value of your home. And like we were talking before we got on, we're not necessarily talking about major renovations. People ask that stuff all the time. Should I knock this wall down? Should I renovate my kitchen? And things like that. So just simpler, easier things that you can do with maybe what they have on hand or just some simple additions. So first question we had, does curb appeal matter? So if I'm perspective of a buyer looking at a house, pretty obvious question. Well, what's your take on that?
Absolutely. Your curb appeal definitely makes a difference. That's your first impression.
Yeah.
So, when somebody's coming up, if you have stuff overgrown and just all over the place, that's going to be just kind of a turnoff in the first place. So you want it to look homey, but you don't necessarily want it to be, cluttered or anything like that. Just simple. And that's
Not too much.
Yeah, that's going to be the key, I kind of think, through this whole thing. So we'll see what questions you have
All right,
here.
yeah, we'll see what else we got here.
But curb appeal definitely matters. So clean your windows and get it all kind of spiffy and shiny. Pull your weeds. Make sure that's all in shape.
All right, we'll get more back on the decorations there because we get a lot with that then out front then. So, okay, now here's one that should be a home run for you. Our kitchen's a big deal. Jen Burns, our kitchen's a big deal.
So, yes, kitchens are definitely a big deal. I have lots of family in this industry, so they can definitely help you out with that if you need. But, yes, kitchens are one of the main things that will kind of make or break your house. So, you want it, if it's up to date, that's a huge thing as far as people are going to look at that. It's going to make a great first impression. They're going to know that that's kind of more move-in ready. So if the kitchen is updated, you have nice counters, lots of great countertop options out there.
There are.
As well.
I know a couple places, one in particular.
I know this one in Perrysburg.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to name drop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
We were just talking about before we came on here.
Cutting edge countertops up in Perrysburg. They service the Northwest Ohio area and in Michigan and Indiana. So
they go all the way to Indiana, too.
They go to Indiana.
I knew they did Michigan.
They do.
So.
They have a showroom over in Noblesville, which is right out of Indianapolis.
Okay. Not familiar with that area. I don't get that way that often then.
I used to go that way, not anymore.
But yeah, we were talking before we went on here. Fantastic location. My wife Kelly and I went up there, and they have every option conceivable, I think. So as far as I didn't even know, like the edges, the type of sink, the cutter, the corners.
There are so many options. I think my husband keeps me out of the showroom, so I don't want to change ours.
Come home and do that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just granite. There's soapstone. There's so many different granite alternatives too, which are really popular right now as well.
Sure.
So there are multiple different surfaces that you can do, not just granite, but go up there. You've been to the showroom, you know your choices. Be prepared to make choices.
A lot of choices. Yeah, definitely a whole lot of choices there. So yeah, you obviously could do, as far as kitchens being a big deal, kitchens and baths, we tell people, are definitely a big deal. They always are. They always will be, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So, and that is one of the fixes you can do is countertops, a little less invasive than ripping out all your cabinets and starting over completely from scratch. So
absolutely. And one of the popular things right now is the painted cabinets.
Sure.
So whether or not you're putting in brand new cabinets, I know Burns have a couple new displays that they have going in over there. And I think there's some navy cabinets, which are gorgeous. Love them.
Like navy blue, navy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They just tore out a couple bathrooms in the showroom and just redid a kitchen or two over there. So
that's cool.
If you want to get inspired, head over there.
That's a beautiful facility over there too. We got a lot of our lighting from there too. So they're a big help over there.
They're awesome. But the colored cabinets are definitely in right now.
And that's something we kind of touched on earlier this week. So instead of gutting your kitchen or making a huge difference that way, you can just paint. New hardware goes a long way.
Absolutely. And I know a couple girls that actually are doing a lot of that, where they're going in and they're upgrading some cabinets with painting. So if you don't think you want to tackle that DIY yourself, there's people that can help you out with that.
I wish I would have known that about a year ago. That would have saved a tremendous amount of aggravation.
A lot of weekend projects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so if you're going new, definitely don't be afraid of color. I mean, that's out there.
Yeah.
You know, the whites and grays have been so popular for so long, so those are definitely still in. But we're starting to see some of this color edge in a little
I guess I'll have to look. I haven't seen a lot of them. More just not necessarily bold, but just more color though than the standard whites and things like that.
So it's kind of a little bit of both right now. You know, got the shiplap. That's always been popular. I think that's still going to be here for.
Yeah, there's a sharp look.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we could talk about kitchens all day. That'd be a whole nother show here then. So, all right. How do we make it? Again, we'll talk a couple different angles on this. So how to make my rooms look bigger then? So that it's been, especially with Corona and things like that, people have been staying home, you know, inside, outside. And used to be people like the smaller space or they'd have more stuff. But now I'm stuck there with the kids and dogs and cats and everything else. And it's like,
everything everywhere. Yeah. I know. And so one of the things is you want to declutter and get rid of the stuff. And if my husband is listening to this, he's going to be like, yeah, take your own advice there, girl. You know, like,
practice what you preach.
Right, exactly. But I'm super creative, you know, so that kind of, it's like this double-edged sword of, you know, wanting to be super clean, but then like, you got to have that creativity flowing. So it's, you know, got to have stuff going on. But definitely declutter. I mean, make it simple, make your pieces functional and make them work. Another thing people can always do too is go vertical, you know, so think about like your shelving or ways that you can use vertical space, especially if you're in a small room. That really helps. One cool thing, I mean, this is something that I put in down at the studio, but I've kind of seen it in you could use it in homes too. The oversized pegboards are super fun right now. So that's like that large wall that I have going down the left-hand side.
Yep, I saw that.
Those, you know, you could use those in an office or, you know, a garage or something, that if you wanted to utilize some more space. Absolutely. That's good. The only problem is my wife is really short, so then I'm going to have to be grabbing everything. Well, then you get the tall ones. You could go vertical with those too. So you can have like the marker of like, this is yours, and then
kind of like the closet. I'll have this much, and she'll
Yeah, probably. I mean, what's wrong with that?
All right, very broad question. How do I decorate and stage my home to sell? Again, we could talk all day on that, but a lot of the stuff you guys have, you got a lot of cool designs, cool projects, things like that. So I guess decorating, staging, kind of broad.
Absolutely. So when you're decorating and staging, one of the things besides the decluttering that you want to do, you do want to depersonalize. So, I mean, a lot of the projects that I obviously have going on at the studio, a lot of those are personalized projects. So you might kind of want to tone back a little bit on those whenever you are showing your home. Just so you don't want them coming in envisioning this as your home. You want them to envision it as what could be their home. So you don't want them coming in and thinking like, oh, I'm at so-and-so's house because it's plastered everywhere. Like I can tell you their kids' birthdays and their, you know, like let them envision that. Let them see what it could be. You know, do tasteful things. Greenery is great. Plants for sure. Real life plants.
Stuff I have to keep alive.
You do, but you can do it. Look at that beautiful one sitting right there.
But it's alive because I don't have to keep it alive. Kim's been doing a great job with that.
So greenery is a great thing too. It just kind of gives it that airy, fresh feeling. And they're great for your home in general. They help with toxins and things like that, which I think we definitely want healthy air right now in the day that we're living in. So
I've seen a lot of Kelly's been getting, it's not alive stuff, but like the greenery, like the decorations and stuff like that. That seems,
which is great. If you can't keep it alive, those are awesome. You just have to remember to dust those. So if you do have a showing and you have not real greenery, make sure that your greenery is dusted.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, we got a couple questions here that came in throughout the week here then. So decoration staging, again, we're trying to add value to it. And again, it's not necessarily, I guess when I say add value, you want to create the image of the home has as much value as possible then. So you don't want to deter someone, so they start chunking away on price if there's something they don't like or something they're not seeing that's decorated well. So So advice on in making your home as welcoming as possible. And you touched on that a little bit here as far as a depersonalizing, but what would be some good easy way, walk in the door, moving throughout the house, trying to make it as welcoming as possible.
Yeah, so that again, going back to that simplify and declutter, that's a huge thing.
Yep.
If you have pets or anything like that, make sure have maybe somebody else come in and be like, hey, when you walk in, does it smell like dog? Does it, kind of do the sniff test?
Sure.
I know sometimes when it's your own house, you're there, you're accustomed to that. Have somebody else,
Yeah, we call that going nose blind. I think
yes.
A lot of times you don't smell any of it,
exactly.
but yeah, someone else walks
exactly.
in and it's definitely a lot.
I know where you're guilty of that. Our dogs say like in the laundry room sometimes, sometimes my mom will come and she'll be like, here's the air freshener for the dog's room. Oh, okay. The rest of the house is fine, just not the dogs,
Yep.
So, just, those kind of those senses as far as when you walk into somewhere, and it's just like anywhere, whether you're going to a restaurant or you're going, the sights, the sounds, what you hear.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of all that. So, I mean, kind of just make it simple, but make it welcoming.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that's what we'd say, kind of what your point, if you're there all the time, you don't necessarily see or smell or feel a lot of that. But if you walk into someone else's house, you got to look at your home from a brand new perspective or bring someone else in.
Think of those people, like friends of yours that maybe like you walk into their house and you're just like, oh, like this is such a great, great experience. That's what it is. It's
Sure.
the first experience when you're walking in.
Yep.
So think of somewhere where you like to go in, that ambiance, kind of create that for your house.
I like that word, ambiance.
There
Yes,
you
you want
go.
to create a good
Like
ambiance.
home
Yes.
ambiance. There we go.
Yeah.
Can we hashtag it?
So, yeah. So you're trying to create that atmosphere. You're trying to sell your home, so you want them to feel welcome. You want them to feel at home then.
Exactly.
So, okay, maybe a loaded question here, but what colors are trending? Whether it be paint, furniture, decor, things like that. I think you touched a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got some different bolder colored cabinets possibly, but
yeah. So colors kind of starting to come in a little bit, but I mean, we're still seeing a lot of the whites, the grays, those kind of rustic-y, farmhousey type, not so much where it's like farmhouse, but kind of that shabby chic.
Sure.
That type look.
You're not
where,
talking my language now. Shabby chic.
Shabby chic,
Give me an example of that.
All
What's
right.
it?
So, well, I mean, you guys have like, in here, you guys have like the whites and the grays, kind
Yep.
of just that.
So if you called this shabby chic, I wouldn't know what to think.
But no, just kind of, not your old school farmhouse where you think of the stars and that type of okay.
Like Cracker Barrel kind of.
Yeah, like I would call that like old school farmhouse,
Okay.
where shabby chic farmhouse is going to be more your whites, your grays.
Yeah, get rid of the stars. Yeah, it's the big stars
Yeah,
in the front of the house.
like
I would say
those.
that's a little
Yeah,
outdated
those are a
at this
little
point.
outdated,
Yeah.
but kind of that cleaner, crisper, just clean feel
Okay.
is kind of more of that.
Shabby chic.
Yeah, like the shiplap. Shiplap.
Okay, all right. Now
shabby-
you're talking my language here. I get you
shiplap,
there.
shabby chic.
Okay.
Can we say that?
Yes,
like, a couple
that'd be
times
a long
fast.
hashtag too.
Can we just tongue twister it?
Yeah. I'm an auctioneer. I can do a lot of that.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So again, kind of with that timeless colors and what are they? We talked about that a little bit. The whites and grays have stuck around for a while. It sounds the beiges, browns.
Yes.
I've been seeing more of that too.
Those, and you're kind of starting to see a little bit more too of like the grayish browns type.
Yeah.
Where it's if you're painting, and this is one of the things that people. Do I need to tear out the kitchen? No. You don't need to do that. Do you need to put a fresh coat of paint on? Yes.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're doing that, those neutral colors, those light beiges, those, kind of maybe off whites, some of those are going to be those traditional, like timeless colors that you can go with, and then people can kind of add those pops of color in that they want to their personality.
Yeah, that's what we kind of recommend people, instead of going bold or super specific, at that point. We do that in your next house. Say, again, kind of personalizing it for there.
Absolutely.
So. All right. As far as using accent walls, do you put an accent wall in every room, some rooms? Is that still a thing that you're seeing?
Yeah. Actually, we just painted not so long ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, before everybody decided decided they were going to paint because everybody was home. That was
Sure.
that was on
Yeah.
our list. Like
Yeah.
we were going to do it. And so so our foyer wall, we got rid of the old school burnt kind of red,
Yeah.
the red
Yeah.
wall that was in every house. We finally said that's
Sure.
got to go. So we kind of did an accent blue gray
Okay.
type wall. So that is in an open plan. That's kind of our accent, where we do have one other wall that's not adjacent to that. It's further back, so you can't see both walls at the same time. But we
Gotcha.
did that to two walls. But it's not. It's in that scheme. It's
Okay.
in that. It's not a complete, like, where did this color come from?
Sure. Yeah.
You
Kind of
know,
it flows together.
right?
Then.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So just a little bit darker.
I have seen that. You go into a house and I can't even remember the colors, but it's just an absolute, I mean, I wouldn't call it an eyesore, but it's definitely like, wow, what is that all about?
Right,
So,
exactly.
probably don't want to go that bold.
No, don't go
Yeah.
that bold, and make sure that it fits in your scheme, and you kind of have it flowing throughout.
Sure.
So
Yep, that's when we come here to talking about flow. So, textures, things like that. I know for a while there, people were doing like textured walls, things like that. I know in decorations, you can probably get away with some of it, but is that
a little bit, yeah. I mean, as far as like the textured walls, not really so much
Yeah.
right now. I
I
mean,
wouldn't think so either.
textured is going to be more kind of your shiplap.
Sure, there you go.
That type. It's going to be that type
More
of
so than-
textured
yeah.
than your 19.
like your knockdown stuff and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, types of lighting. I don't know if you get so much into that, but I like a lot of light, natural light, adding
Yes.
additional light. You guys don't do a whole lot of decorations with lights and things like that,
I
do
don't.
you? Or something? No, okay.
I don't do any
All right.
decorations with
Well, you would agree lights are
but-
probably important, having good lighting in the house. so-
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I mean, you can find a combination. That's actually kind of next on my list. I need to,
Work on the.
yeah,
I
I'm
know a
not
place
allowed-
right down the road.
I
that
know,
does some
I know,
lights,
I
yeah.
know a place too, and I just haven't, hey, can you bring that one home for
Yeah.
me? And so, but some of the lights right now that are really definitely kind of I would say is kind of some of the ones that are industrial looking, where it's kind of maybe like a little bit of metal, maybe some wood added into it. So
Sure.
that's where you're kind of getting your textures, is
Okay.
with different materials kind of put together.
Instead
So
of just the gold plated lights or the things
Right.
like that, getting away from that.
right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Right up your alley here. How much wall decor should I have? You can never have enough, right?
No, you can never have enough. A tip for when you do have wall decor is lay it out on your floor first, maybe like in front of that wall before you put it up.
Just to kind of
Just
envision
to
what it
kind
looks
of,
like?
yeah,
or-
just to,
okay.
and before you start pounding holes in your wall,
Yeah, yeah.
That
was a big Kelly. She wanted all kind of stuff hung up in our house, and I did not. We had no nails in anything. It took me
Yes,
forever to finally
yeah.
get over finally putting that
Yeah.
first nail in. So
Yeah.
that's great advice.
But now it probably looks awesome, right?
It's getting there. Yeah, well, we got a lot more to do yet for sure. But that's no, wouldn't even have thought of that, laying it all out. And
Yeah, lay it out on your floor first. That way you can kind of see your sizes of what's going on. Since we've painted, I actually have about 6 frames that are leaning against our wall right now that
Sure.
I'm, not sure what I wanted. So I probably bought more than I needed.
Yeah.
Because I want to do a mix of my goal right now is to do a mix of some personal with photos, of course, some things from the studio, because
Sure.
I go
Yeah,
places
why
and
not?
I go, why should I buy that? I'll make that at
Yeah.
the studio.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
and,
that's probably because like Kelly and I've gone to different places, but yeah, if you can see that and make it,
yeah,
that would
so
get
I
more-
know. So then it kind of gets on my list of things to do. And
Yeah.
and I mean, for you guys that are out there too, that's something that if you guys see something that you kind of like, but you're like, oh, I wish it was in a different color or something, snap a picture of it, send it to me, and I am happy to work with you.
Yeah, no,
and
that's-
design that. So those are definitely some things that I can help you with to do a customization piece as you're trying to figure out what your wall should be.
So you don't just have to take that thing off the shelf. Then you can make
Yeah.
it perfect for the
Absolutely.
area. Then. That's
yeah,
awesome.
get your colors, get your size. It's a little too big, a little too small. All types of different options you can do.
Sure.
Endless.
That leads right into our next thing. Is how big should they be? Big or small? I guess kind of depends on your wall space. I'm
Absolutely.
assuming, right?
Yeah, it's going to depend on your wall space, and you don't want to have so much that it detracts from everything.
Sure.
You probably want to have something that's your main dominant focus. So
like one
thing that
okay.
Yeah, and then other pieces that kind of adjust to that and kind
Okay.
of supplement that and not take away with it, but they can work together as a whole package.
Okay. You're not speaking my language, but I kind of follow there.
So, like if you're doing kind of like a wall with multiple different things on it, don't just do 1,000 little things. Have
Yeah.
one main focus point and then
kind of work around.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then add in your other pieces.
Okay.
Again, lay it on your floor first before you put it up. That way you know how many little pieces
when you do that, do you like measure out, okay, I have this much space to work with, or do you just kind of lay it out and kind of see what it looks
well,
like?
And I mean, if you're laying it out on your floor, like right in front of your wall, then you can kind of really get a good gauge of, okay, this
kinda
is
what
how
it's gonna
much.
look like.
Yeah. You know, mix some art in there. You don't want to have everything be all pictures and stuff with your last initial on it, and all your kids are, you know, you want to add in some other traditional just art too, to kind of get a good blend and mix of different things. So
I don't know what kind of art I like though, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, then you're gonna have to
figure it out then.
Yeah.
All right, so we touch on this a little bit. We get this question a lot. People say, "What do I need to do with the house?" And one thing we say is, less is more. Get it out of there. And then the depersonalization. I'm not saying you got to evacuate your house, but we do get a lot of pushback on that for whatever reason there. So you think that was important, though?
Absolutely. I had a friend a while ago that I know was selling a house, and this is probably 2 years ago, and she's like, I literally keep my laundry basket in the back of my van. Because it was like, okay, well, what do you do with the laundry? Her van became her hamper, because you never know when you're going to have somebody that calls in and says, hey, can I go through it tonight?
Funny you say that, because there's been a couple times I tell people literally just keep the laundry hampers handy, and if you need to throw the toys in, throw the dirty clothes in, just get it out of the house for a little bit. So,
and think of it as early packing, to pack up those things that you don't need, the kids aren't playing with, get those in boxes, pack them up, because you're going to have to move it anyway if you want to sell your house, right? It's got to go.
Good advice. Okay, now here, I did a little homework here. So your favorite style of decor. So I was looking, we've got rustic, you touch on some of this, farmhouse, contemporary, modern. This, if you know this one, it'll blow my mind. Scandinavian. So I don't see a lot of Scandinavian type of decor.
Not around here.
Is,
I think we maybe have to go more New Mexico for that kind of little Aztec type.
So what's Jen Burns' favorite type of decor? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely here it comes. Are you ready? I like the rusticy shabby chic.
Okay, all right. So that makes sense.
So the stuff that looks clean, that is warm and inviting, kind of just a mix of personalization, but also I mean, I don't want somebody coming in and going, okay, this is too perfect. You got to have some characteristic.
Sure.
It needs to be for your house.
Not total showroom.
Right, exactly. Like you live there. It's not a museum.
Sure.
But so, I mean, I love the clean look, adding some greens in, kind of. We didn't.
I gotta say, I was resistant to the green. She kept bringing the green. I'm like, what is this? But it does look nice when you get it up.
It
though.
does, absolutely. So kind of a little, I don't know, find pieces that I don't know if I want to say speak to you, but pieces that kind of is your vibe, your style. We all have our own styles, no matter what it is. My style right now is I was just in the studio painting, so
if you're watching this and not listening,
exactly. Sorry, I've been painting all morning. So, but find something that's your style, what works for you. So it's your home, but keep in mind, it's your home when you live in it versus your home versus when you're trying to sell it. Those are two kind of completely different homes.
Yep. So that's your real estate advice. We're going to make a real estate agent out of you yet. All right. Well, so tell us a little bit about, while we got you here, Rustic, Flair, and Brush. You talked a little bit in the office yesterday then too. So where can we find you? What do you guys do?
All right.
Give us your elevator pitch on that.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm at 113 Melmore Street, which
in beautiful downtown Tiffin, Ohio.
Absolutely. Yep. So it's close to St. Joe's Church, right beside Fort Ball South Carryout. And the laundromat. So that little alley that everybody always cuts through to get over from Coast Street over. Yeah, I'm kind of tucked right in there. I've been there for a little bit over a year. Was doing this as a side hustle beforehand, and then finally realized I needed a studio location.
Yep.
So it's a great night out for girls' nights out, or
which you're doing that stuff now yet. Too, right?
So I can do
limited
capacity. Absolutely. So. I can do small groups. So if you have, I've had some moms, daughters nights. I've had some date nights where we did a paint pour with husbands and wives. So you can create your own artwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The paint pours are great. They're messy.
Paint pour?
Yeah. You pour paint onto a canvas or wood, and then you can tilt it, and you get all these cool little cells and colors that form So they're really fun. So we
Sure.
did that as a Valentine's date night.
That's kind of cool.
it
So is
was-
that just individual couples, or you have multiple couples there? For
Yeah.
that?
When I did, I think I had like 5 couples. Like each
Sure.
couple had their table. So
Yeah.
can kind of just
That's
hang
cool.
out.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are,
I know you've done the girl group. Did you ever get a group of guys just come in and do anything? Has
you
that
know what?
happened
I
yet?
haven't had a full group of guys. I mean, I have some guys that come in, here and there.
Sure.
Maybe they're making a gift, and this is a great time of year. So, I mean, we got to start thinking about holidays pretty soon, really.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
It is,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
it's coming quick. So making a holiday gift, if you want to make something personalized, I will tell you, every person that I have had come in to make something for like a bridal shower or a wedding gift, they're coming back and telling me, they're like, they told me not to say this, but that was my favorite gift,
That's
because
hilarious.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
personalized and it's something that they're going to use. It's
Sure.
not something they would, maybe they would come make it for themselves, but you have to set up the time to do
Yeah.
that. So
You're not going to see the exact same thing on the Hobby Lobby shelf.
right,
From
exactly.
something like that. Yeah.
And the great thing with the studio is if you see something like on the Hobby Lobby shelf, you see it, but it's not the right color. So when you come
Sure.
into the studio, you are picking your design before you come in. So you're kind of letting me know what you want. So I make sure I have all your supplies ready for you. And then I do all the hard work.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
all the prep work. You come in, you get to have a good time, have fun, pick your colors, pick your stains. So that way it's really going to go with your decor in your house of what you
Yeah.
want it to be.
I love that. And you mentioned this, if you see something on Etsy or something like that, then too, instead of paying $500 to have something shipped or something like that, you
Absolutely.
guys can make it
Yeah,
basically like even better than
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you've seen.
My background's graphic design. So, I'm always up for, hey, can you make this? Yeah. Let's, have
never
you made
have,
it?
but I'll
I
figure it
haven't,
out.
I
Yeah.
haven't yet, but
Yeah.
I can this week. So,
Sure.
I always love trying new things, new creative things. That's part of what kind of fills my soul, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, Kelly reminded me. I think you've made several wedding gifts for us and things like that
Yes.
then too. So
Yes.
I didn't even realize that then. Too.
Yes.
So it's a small world. But yeah, we closing gifts, things like that. I love everything I've seen you've done. I love the idea of the personalization
Awesome.
and making the colors work.
Yeah.
So, all right. So where else can they find you? Facebook. On your page right now.
Facebook.
Rustic,
Yep.
Flair, and Brush.
You got
right?
it. Yep, absolutely.
Are you an Instagrammer or stuff like that?
I just, you know
Tweeting?
what? COVID made me get my Instagram
Did it?
account
Nice,
up
yeah.
and about. So that is there. That's going on.
Okay.
Facebook.
Is that Rustic Flair and Brush too on Instagram?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
have to like your page here too. I'm
Yeah,
still kind of
yeah.
new to that myself.
No, I know.
so.
I'm getting in the swing of it all. You
Yeah.
know, but figuring out how I can do one post and it go to both, which is
Sure.
wonderful.
And I had
Absolutely.
you brought. If you're listening, you can't hear this, but we
Yeah.
brought a lot of stuff. You brought. If you need some inspiration, we've got pictures. You've got all kind of stuff. You got cool little books and
Absolutely.
stuff you've done in the past.
Yeah.
Can
Birthday
they-
parties, big parties, little parties. You
Yeah.
know, as far as ages go.
As far as
everybody.
phone number, can they call?
They can absolutely call. You can message me on either of the social medias. That's fine.
Okay. What's your phone number then?
Phone number
So-
is 419-618-0212.
All right, we'll get that put in our little notes then too, so we got that. All right, Jen. Well, you've been
Super.
fantastic guest. I really appreciate you coming down here. We really would hope that I know your business is doing well. I know it'll continue to do well here. You got the creation and the flair. I need some more inspiration for things like that. I definitely don't know the function, the form of putting furniture in the right place. But when you ask about a color, a design, or whatever, that is certainly not me. So,
I gotcha.
so we'll send everyone down
Absolutely.
your way here to kind of get an idea on
Absolutely.
that.
That would be
so.
wonderful. I'd appreciate it.
All right. Well, you know where to find her here. Find her on Facebook, like her page. Find her on Instagram then too. I'm going to
Yep.
do that here myself here
Oh,
in just
I'll
a
give you
minute. Then.
I'll give you the website.
Yes,
too.
perfect. What do you
yeah.
got?
So if you go to flair37.com.
Flair 37. What's the
Yeah.
37?
So I know everyone's like, what's a 37? So I do another program that's with schools. That's a whole topic for another day.
Okay, yeah.
And so there's a quote about pieces of flair. Flair, everything just is kind of your own style, right? How you what you do with things.
Sure.
And then 37 just has some personal meanings from times of kids were born to different dates and stuff
Cool.
like
So
that.
Flair 30, FLAIR 37.com,
You
right?
got it.
Okay,
and you
I'm
can
looking
find
up right
it
now.
all right there.
You got
Snaplaments.
Snaplaments. Okay, I like that.
Yes.
Rustic Flair and Brush and
Yeah.
Yard Flair signs.
Yeah,
you got a
those
little
are
bit of everything
coming
going on
soon.
there.
So that's kind of a new endeavor coming out. So
Snaplaments. I'll check that out. All right, Jen, I really appreciate the time. We'll have you back on again here. We'll definitely, I'll line up a whole guys night here. You'll have to come up with a
Okay.
good guys package.
yeah,
Just to come in and
we'll
do
make
that.
like
so.
beer.
Yeah, it'd have to be
bottle
something.
openers
That's
or
not your
something.
traditional guy night. Then
We'll
that'd
do
be something
something.
cool.
It'll be fun.
So. All right. So find Jen online. Make sure you check out our other business, and we'll go from there. Jen, really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.